Ladies and gentlemen, recently, Arknights CN has released the first ever side story event that is set in Minos. Along with it, we also get a new 6-star operator. And she is none other than Titi, which you probably know from Pepe's debut event. Quite funny for being an event set in Minos, that is based on ancient Greece. The 6-star is from Cairo. Well, not like the first time it happens. So anyway, in this video we'll see what she can do. Alright, Habibti is our second 6-star incantation medic, after our lovely dragon queen Reed Alter. And compared to Reed, Titi leaned more towards defense and crowd control. And her CC mostly comes from her ability to inflict sleep effects to both enemies and allied units. Yes, she is the first operator that can put friendly to sleep. But more on that later. I suppose most already know what this archetype does exactly. They are medic and caster hybrid. They can attack enemies with arts damage. And will only give heal to operators in range, if they attack enemies. And the healing amount is based on half of the damage dealt. So the bigger the damage, the bigger the heal. I find this medic a very useful addition to the team, since they can serve two roles, a healer and damage dealer. And despite being a medic, as you have probably seen from Reed Alter, this archetype has a powerful damage potential. And don't worry, despite not having a DPS tag, Titi is also a good damage dealer. This archetype is also quite useful when you need to play aggressively. Like when deploying an operator near enemies who can do ranged attacks. Most ranged operators will probably flatline if I deploy them like this. But thanks to incantation medic ability, they can attack the enemy and survive the enemy hits with their heal. And Titi surely has more advantages in a situation like this, since she can put enemy to sleep and prevent them from attacking her. But that being said, this archetype has some major flaws. One being they need to attack to heal. And their healing output can drop significantly against enemies with high resistance. Okay, that is more or less about her trade. Now let's see her talent. Like all good sleep debuffer, she has the ability to attack sleeping enemies. When attacking non-moving targets, which should include sleeping enemies, she will also deal additional arts damage. And if she's present on the field, all sleeping enemies will take arts damage. And that certainly includes sleep effects from other operators. Which is very interesting, because now anyone with sleep utility can indirectly deal damage to their victim. And contribute to heal TT, or those operators inside her range. As for her second talent, TT will give attack speed buff to Sargon and Minoan operators, if their HP is above 50%. And this effect should be indicated by the two yellow lines around the operator. Alright, now let's see her skills. First, her skill 1. Well, there's not much to say here, it's a rather weak starter skill. For a big cost of 40 SP. She will gain attack buff, and has a chance to inflict sleep for the next 17 seconds. For such a big cost, the attack buff is lower than her other skills. It also doesn't have a multi-target ability. And the freaking sleep debuff is RNG. And you actually get that 50% chance after M3. The skill duration is also an insult to mankind. On the other hand, skill 2 is a gift straight from heaven, and what makes her unique from other ops in this game. This one will make her stop doing her basic attack. But TT will put herself and another operator to sleep. And any enemies that are already inside, or step into 8 tiles around them, will be put to sleep as well. And they will start taking significantly more damage from her talent 1. Thanks TT attack buff, and talent 1 damage multiplier. This is a very awesome skill. For one, it's a strong crowd control source. Titi can stop most enemies from doing anything. The damage and area effect is also great to be used to clear swarms of normal enemies, and some elites. However, the most interesting part here is how she put herself and another op to sleep. During this, they more or less become immortal. Enemies will ignore and not attack them. You can even use it to avoid certain enemy mechanics. And here's what I tested so far. With this, she can ignore Tallulah fireballs. Londinium cannon won't target them. That missile truck and last Steam Knight rockets is also unable to target Titi. I also tried this on Lich King. Well, he still spread out the sleeping operators. Overall, this ability has a high potential, but some things are worth noting. Putting operators to sleep will make them unable to block. Most enemies will probably just put to sleep once they enter the skill radius, and then gets flatlined from Titi's talent 1. But of course, enemies who are immune to sleep exist. And sadly, that is mainly the case for bosses. Additionally, when you put to sleep someone who is currently using their skill duration will still count. So better watch the target and the timing. And talking about targets, Titi should prioritize using this on someone with the lowest HP, or the recently deployed. Last but not least, her skill 3. Titi will get attack buff, and now attacks 2 enemies at the same time. Each attack will also put the target to sleep for 5 seconds. After the enemy is awakened, they will then take a devastating arts attack. And the damage is based on how long they sleep. Additionally, nearby enemies will then be put to sleep as well, giving this skill an AoE ability, similar to Read All to skill 3. Damage wise, this skill has good damage potential, which also means good healing potential. You can use it to clear swarms, and also stalling enemies. But sadly, since the bigger part of the damage comes from the sleep effect, this skill is significantly less impactful towards those who are immune to sleep, typically bosses. Aside from that, this skill also has another unique utility. Any operator who is defeated inside her range will not retreat. Instead, they will be put to sleep until their HP is full, or this skill ends. Sadly, the same does not apply to the skill owner. So ladies and gentlemen, that is Titi. What do you think? Overall, a great caster and medic hybrid that also comes with a very interesting and unique utility. I especially can see her skill 2 will have so much use in the future. Although she's not all perfect, the main flaws mainly come from her archetype typical flaws, like needing to attack first before heal, and the healing amount is significantly lower against high res. Other than that, being a unit that is so focused on one certain debuff will become less useful if the enemy is immune. And in her case, bosses are typically immune to sleep effects, so you probably won't get her full potential against most bosses. But still, I think she is a unit worth considering. That should be all. Adios.